your social media is like a reality TV show. Who are you? Like, instead of doing what it is that you feel like you need to do to be popping, be who you are. Because what you're going to do is you're going to attract the people that care about the things that you're into, and right then you're building an audience. You know what I'm saying? So, like you say, you're in the sports, or and you're talking sports, and you have a huge following of people that love to hear you talk about sports. And there's a big basketball tournament coming in town. Someone to come and like, I want you to come be a part of it, because they know if you come, everybody tune in to you talking about the sports. They acquire all that. But if you wasn't doing it, you wouldn't know that you had your own audience. So
it wouldn't be able to reach those people.
It's so much, man, that a lot of people take for granted when it comes to social media.
Yeah,
so it's a very powerful tool. Yeah,
but you got to use it the right way.
You got to use it.
Are you looking to buy or sell your home, but not quite sure if now is the right time? Well, contact Morgan & Co. and allow them to help you make that decision. Morgan & Co. is a leading, top producing company in Central Virginia. Contact Morgan & Co. today at 804-874-6806 or anytime, day or night, at www.morganandcorealty.com. Now back to the episode. Welcome to the Success Leaves Clues podcast, where I find regular people doing extraordinary and phenomenal things in corporate America and entrepreneurship. Of course, I'm your host, Dr. K, and I have with me today somebody very special. You probably already recognize him, but it's DJ Lonnie B.
What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for joining me.
Man, it's an honor, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
I appreciate it. Yeah. So introduce yourself.
Well, like you said, my name is DJ Lonnie B. Lonnie Battle is my government. I've been DJing all my life. The only thing more important to me than music is family, you know, and I've been blessed enough to live the majority of my life doing something that I love. You know how they say, if you're doing what you love, it feels like you never worked a day in your life. So
that's right.
One of those lucky people or blessed people to be able to say that that's the life that I've been living.
Yeah, definitely blessed, man. You say you've been doing it your entire life. When did you start? I started
DJing in like 88, 89. That's when I started learning. DJ Drake taught me when we were in high school. So, well over 30 years. And I've been on the radio now, on commercial radio for 23 years. Okay. As of December the 3rd.
Okay.
Yeah.
And commercial radio for 23 years.
Yeah.
And what there must be a different type. So what's commercial?
So before that was college radio. I did college radio for like 3 years at the University of Richmond. That's where my radio career started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you attended University of Richmond as well? Or?
No. So Mike Street, crazy, it's a crazy story. Like Mike Street, shout out to Mike Street, because when I think of Richmond radio, Mike Street he gave birth to so many of the people that you hear on radio now. Okay. He had a college radio show called the UR House Party that came on every Sunday, and it was like one of the few places that played hip-hop music around that time. Mm-hmm. Of course, before that, El Bravador, Sir RJ, and the Z-Rock crew, they had a show. But around this time, Mike Street was the only person that had a show, and he invited a lot of rappers and DJs up there. So I met Mike Street as a rapper. I went up there with DJ Drake, and they let me rap on the radio. Eventually, he found out that I was a DJ. So I think maybe around 95, Mike Street got the phone call from Power 92 to come from college radio to commercial radio. He needed someone to fill his space there, and he gave me the opportunity to do that. So that is how my radio career started. So even though at 5 o'clock here in Richmond on the radio, you hear both of us at the same time, and sometimes people may think that it's a competition. Like Mike Street is like a brother to me, you know what I'm saying? So to me, it'll never be a competition, because I know for a fact that if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't even be on that box, you know?
Yeah, and it's not really competition if you're uplifting and building each other,
most
right?
Definitely.
So it's all for the community.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah. How did you know that was your love or your passion, even though you've been doing this since a young age?
I've always just loved music. I've always loved hip hop. But even before hip hop, it was Michael Jackson. When I was young, I wanted to be like Michael Jackson. I had the Jerry curl.
Didn't we all?
Yeah. Listen, I had the Jerry curl. I had the jacket. I had the moves. I had everything except for the glove. My mom used to give me her burgundy isotoner, but I had to do it during the time.
Okay.
But I just love music, and I love loved performing. You know, I love the energy you get from performing in front of people. My uncles and them, whenever they had company, you know, they would put on a Michael Jackson song and just tell me to, you know, go. And I think from that, you know, I just wanted to continue to do it. So first I started rapping, and then after that, you know, it was a DJ thing.
Okay. And how'd you get into rap?
Again, just wanting that attention. My uncle worked at this club called the Tropicana. This was like 88, 89. Around the time, like I was doing both DJing and rapping. Around the time they were looking for a DJ. So my uncle introduced me, but I was scared and I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So I said, I know a guy named DJ Drake, because Drake was teaching me. And Drake ended up being the DJ at this legendary club. What makes it legendary is they had a legendary rap contest. And I rapped in it a few times, but this is the actual club that Das Effects rapped in the rap contest and got the record deal with EPMD. Yeah. So, you know, that is that. But I said all that to say, they asked me to rap in the rap contest. I did it. And the response I got from rapping, again, it was just like, this is what I want to do. I want to, you know, keep this feeling.
Yeah, you just felt it.
Yeah,
you knew it was the right place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who did you have that was nurturing you? I mean, you talk about your mom, and it's important that we nurture the passion in our kids. But was she the main force supporting you?
Definitely the main force. As far as the DJ thing, she was the one person that sacrificed and bet it all. Like, she knew I wanted to be a DJ. The one thing that my mom always poured into me was, God bless a child that got his own. She hated when I would borrow things from my friends, and right when I was getting into it, they would come take it away from me. Yeah. You know, and so she always preached to me like, God bless a child that got his own. So when I graduated from high school, I wanted to go to college. She couldn't afford to send me to college because, you know, even though she was a single parent, they said that she made too much money to get any type of assistance.
Yeah. So right on that cusp.
Yeah. She couldn't afford it. So she said to me, if I sit out this semester and go next semester, she'll give me those turntables that I've been waiting for in January. Of course, January came around. She didn't have the money to send me to school again. Yeah. She didn't have the money to get the turntables, but, you know, trying to be a woman of her word, she didn't pay the mortgage sacrifice paying the mortgage to get those turntables for me.
Wow.
So, you know, that gamble was the reason that I'm here right now.
So she was your first investor?
100%. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Did you feel some sense of obligation, or what did it feel like? Did you even know, first of all, that she sacrificed the mortgage, or did you find out that later?
I found out later. But, you know, even still, you know, I was just a kid. So, you know, I mean, not as much of an adult as I am now. So, you know, when you really understand responsibility and all the things that she had on her shoulders as a single parent, you know, she was raising, you know, myself and my brother. You know, it definitely means a lot more now when I look back at it. Yeah.
But do you feel like that pushes you, or is it still just your passion that pushes you?
Right now?
Yeah. Is it like an obligation in the back of your mind that says, you know what? My mom poured into me and she sacrificed for this, so I can't let it go. Or is it just solely your passion pushing you?
It's a little bit of both. I mean, definitely my passion drives me. My fear of failure makes me go even harder. Like, you know, I never want to get comfortable. Like, even when, you know, people look at a lot of the things that are going on in my life, you know, I've had an incredible year to come out of COVID, and a lot of people may look and say, you know, he's blessed, he's this and that. I'm sitting back thinking about, what can I do better? What more can I do? You know, it's no time to ever get comfortable and be in cruise control, because there's a lot of people waiting in the wing trying to, you know, pick apart your ideas or trying to take your position. So, so my passion and understanding that what I do not only provides for my family, but to be a kid from a single parent household. I graduated from high school, never went to college, and I still found a way to become, you know, somewhat successful. You know, I think
somewhat.
You know, but I think it's important for kids to be able to see that. Everybody's not going to be able to go to college, but that don't mean that you can't make it if you're passionate about something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You were talking about how you always want to elevate and make yourself better.
Yeah.
And I remember one time seeing you out in an event and the audio wasn't quite right. Speakers weren't quite working right for you. And you packed it up and said, this wasn't a gig for you.
Yeah.
And that spoke a lot to me because you're not going to let anything jeopardize your brand and jeopardize your name.
You hit it right on the head. The brand, like my brand is everything. And, the promoters or the venue rented the sound equipment. Mm-hmm. I was performing on the sound equipment. Nobody there knew that. So whenever the sound went out, everyone looked at me like it was me that was messing up. And I didn't want to jeopardize my brand. So I was like, I'm not going to do this. They understood it. They still paid me.
Oh, okay.
and they got it right the next time.
If they weren't going to pay you, would you still make the same decision? Or like, how does that work for you?
They would have paid me.
No, I'm just hypothetically, like, is your brand that important to you, and how do you make those decisions?
Yeah, my brand is definitely more important than a paycheck. Like one opportunity, I would never sacrifice my brand for one bad opportunity. No, because you never know how that opportunity will affect your brand moving forward. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. So you were talking about DJing or music, not DJing, but music is second to your family.
Most definitely.
About your family, I know you got amazing daughters.
Thank you.
You got any sons?
Well, yeah. I have a 5-year-old son.
A 5-year-old son.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what do you like to pour into them to keep them, motivated? Do you feel like sometimes you push them into college because you didn't go, or do you feel like you push them into entrepreneurship because you?
I push them toward their passion. So if your passion is go to school. So I am the follow your passion, find something that you love and go that route because that's the life that I was blessed to live. My wife is very big on education because she went to school. Mm-hmm. So, I think that there's a happy medium. Yeah. For instance, my oldest daughter, Alani, she graduated from Longwood already. Aaliyah is about to go to school. And the one thing that I'm telling Aaliyah is, you're already a DJ. Mm-hmm. If you want to go to school for something like marketing, go to school for something like business management. So if you're blessed enough to get a job in that field, cool. If not, you can pour that same knowledge that you learned in school into your own personal career and then build it up from there. Yeah. So there's too many people who I know that go to college because that's what we're programmed to do. And they go to school, they get a degree, and then get a job in something that has nothing to do with that degree. And then they spend the rest of their lives paying back college loans, doing something that has nothing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't. That's the one thing I want to make sure I keep my kids from getting in that hamster wheel. Like, if you're going to do it, do it. If not, let's try to find something, that you're passionate about.
I think now we're coming out of that cycle because, like you said, that's the way we were taught. Yeah. Like everybody said, you go to school, you get a good education, you get a good job. Yeah. But now it's kind of like, look, now we're realizing that, like you said, you can leverage that education to do what you're passionate about, or you can just skip it all together and pursue your passion. Yeah. And it works out for so many people.
Most definitely. Another thing that I try to point to my kids is, even if you're not blessed enough to live a life where full time you're doing something that can, that you can provide for yourself, doing something that you love, you got to have something that that brings in a little bit of money that somebody can't fire you from. To me, that's the ultimate goal. Like right now, as Lonnie B, the DJ, I work for Power 92. Mm-hmm. Power 92 could fire me from being a DJ on Power 92, but Power 92 could never fire me from being Lonnie B. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I can always continue to go out here, brand, sell myself, do a bunch of different things. So I'm never at the mercy of someone giving me a job to be able to make money. That's the same thing as like a photographer. Like as a photographer, you can work at a photography studio where if they let you go, you're still a photographer. So I think everybody needs, something like that. So that's one thing I do preach to my kids.
You talk about like not being able to be fired from one. You can't be fired from your passion, right? Exactly. They can't take that from you. Yeah. But how do you operate with the business of DJing? Because I know a lot of DJs who've been DJing 10, 20 years and they're lucky to do, a house party, or something like that. So What is it behind the business of DJing that helps you be successful?
It's the brand. You have to figure out what's going to make you different. Shout out to Danger Mouth and Bill McGee. Early on, when we, formed the Super Friends, they taught me so much about the business of music and branding. Okay. In 1995, I've owned LonnieB.com since like 1995. Wow. Yeah, people weren't even really on the internet. Yeah. People were using AOL dial-up then, but I've owned it then, and the importance of owning, everything. I want DJ Lonnie. When it comes to my brand, for instance, I don't want anything but DJ Lonnie B on any platform. So I need to be DJ Lonnie B on Instagram, on Facebook, on any platform. If I can't get it, I won't even sign up for it. Because I don't ever want to be DJ Lonnie B 804 on this, DJ Lonnie B VA on this. Uh-huh. When someone is looking for you, if they see me on TV, they should be able to type my name in any platform and automatically pull me up. Yeah. So I'm so old. TikTok. Yeah. So TikTok. For instance, I wanted DJ Lonnie B on TikTok, and some kid had DJ Lonnie B on TikTok. So I refused to do it. At the Heavy Hitter Retreat this year in October, I was sitting at the table with DJ Enough, and I was explaining it to him. So we pulled it up to go see the little kid I was talking about. He had changed his name. So when he changed his name, I was actually able to snatch it up. So I'm finally on TikTok. I haven't posted anything yet, but again. So,
but they hear that. That's,
So
go to TikTok, follow DJ Lonnie.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but that's smart to be consistent like that, because I do see a lot of brands that change it on every platform, and then it makes it hard for them to follow. Mm-hmm. And
the other thing I think we were touching on the whole business side of things. You got to know your value. You got to know your value and respect your value. Unfortunately, a lot of the DJs coming up now are more concerned with the popularity than the business side of things. So they would rather say, okay, I'm DJing 10 parties this week, but you're DJing 10 parties for $100, $50 a piece. When there's another person that's only DJing 2 parties, but they're DJing those parties for $1,000 a piece. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a small thing like that, understanding your value and being able to say, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it if you're not paying me my price. If that's not your budget, then all right, cool. Maybe we can revisit it when
your budget comes.
Yeah. The other part is you have to be able to prove that you're worth that amount of money. So and when the promoters aren't paying you, throw your own event, because eventually what'll happen is if you throw your own event and they see that you're making money without them, then they want to make money with you now. So when you go to them and say, I charge this much, they understand that whether they pay you or not, you have a way to make that money. So lowballing you ain't gonna work no more. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of DJs, unfortunately, they're living their careers at the mercy of the change, the change that these promoters are throwing at them.
With the partnership that you create, whether it's a club promoter or a venue or something, how do you form that relationship? Is that something you reach out and form, or are they coming to you?
It's a little bit of both. You know what I'm saying? Either way, whichever way it's formed, you got to make sure you're bringing something to the table, as well as, they're bringing something to the table. In the beginning, if no one knows your name or doesn't care, it's a lot harder to go to a venue and say, this is why you need to use me. Once you're able to build up your value, now you have to look at what does this person, bring to the table. I started throwing parties myself as a DJ. I was a DJ and a promoter. Okay. So I understood how much money could be made at the door. Mm-hmm. So aside from what I get paid to DJ, if I charge 1,000 people $20 at the door, that's how much money I can make. So if I know that I'm popular enough to bring people out, why would I let you pay me $1,000 to put my name on a flyer to bring 1,000 people out and make $20 and you walk away with 19? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So once you figure that out, it's like, okay, now what do you bring to the table as a business person? So if you're a club owner, I could bring the people out, but you have a building, so I don't have to pay for the building anymore, and we might be able to do a percentage on the alcohol sales or something. So now you're bringing something to the table, I'm bringing something to the table. It's a win-win. So
so it's a true partnership. It's not just getting hired for a job or a gig. We're going to come together.
Or someone, someone benefiting off of it for really not doing much, So,
But it goes back to what you're saying, know your value.
You got to know your value. Yeah. And don't sell yourself short. If you don't believe it, then why would anybody else?
Yeah. When you got into what was commercial radio, have you been on commercial radio ever since? Yeah. Or was there any drops?
Nah. Well, it's crazy. Well, when COVID hit, I had been on the radio, every week of my life from 1998 until, when COVID hit in 2020.
Man.
When COVID hit in 2020, a lot of things were affected because, radio is a business where they make money off of advertising.
Yeah.
And with so much shutting down, people didn't have anything to advertise, So because of that, it just trickle down effect. So a lot of people got let go and, by the grace of God, they didn't let me go, but they did put me on ice. So for the first time in my entire radio career, I was off the radio. And to be honest, I thought that, this was just going to be the buffer. They were going to keep me on ice for a minute, then 5-6, months down the line, come back and tell me, yeah, it's not going to happen. So, this is it. The unfortunate thing to me was, I spent over 20 years of my life and I didn't get to, end that career with a period or exclamation point.
Yeah.
And just when I thought it was over, I got a phone call from a friend of mine named Jay Tech. And, we had started talking. Well, he wasn't my friend at that moment. He reached out to me, started asking me questions. He ran a radio station down in North Carolina.
Okay.
At that point, he was like, well, do you want to do radio down here? I was like, bet. He said, just send me the mixes. He put me on 2 radio stations down there. Then I got back on the radio in Richmond. Then I got a phone call to do radio in Houston. Then I got a phone call to do radio in Charlotte and Ohio. So at one point, I was thinking that my career was over. And just like that, I'm on 8 radio stations across the nation, like to this moment.
So currently you're on?
Currently I'm on 8 radio stations across the nation.
Man, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Thank you, man. Yeah.
So a blessing came out of what you thought would be a bad situation.
Yeah. I wasn't upset. I was like, if this is how it has to end, it's unfortunate, but, I'm not mad at it. And then, look at what happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm blown the way you stuck me with that one. Yeah, I didn't even realize that. Yeah. But so that's important because you could have really looked at that situation and kind of like you've seen somebody storm out of their job before, right?
Yeah.
Cuss out the boss and all of that stuff. You burn that bridge.
Yeah.
And you could have really looked at it as a bad thing, but you said, you know what?
I'm a realist, bro. So I look at situations, I forgot the person that gave me the piece of advice, but one thing I live by is keep the passion, lose the emotion. And I always look at everything. So when I look at the bigger picture, the reason that they had to do it, it was not anything personal against me. It wasn't because of my performance. It wasn't because of my ratings. If you understand business, it just didn't make business sense. So how can I be mad at them because they're making a business decision to help make their business make more sense?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not a real person if you think that you're above something like that. So I looked at it and at least I knew it wasn't personal. I was able to, take that pill and swallow it.
Yeah, kind of realizing it's not all about you.
Exactly. So, so I had no reason to storm out there. I had great relationships. I talked to the general manager, my program director, and, I stayed in contact with him and let him know, in the meantime, if there's anything I can do, I'm here. Just give me a call.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we're working for the 8 radio stations, or not working for, but being on these 8 radio stations. Does that require more travel out of you, or?
No, everything, especially, just like everybody else in the world was working from home. I did the same thing. So all of my mixes, for the most part, were done in my house, either at my house or my studio downtown. So I would pre-record the mixes and just email them to the different radio stations.
Yeah. But I mean, at some point, they might want a presence, right? Or a tour or something like that. Does that happen?
Not yet. Again, it's the world is opening back up. I did get a phone call to come to Ohio. I did do the Art of Noise in Raleigh, so I do think that part of being on the radio definitely helped the outcome of that, because at that point they've heard me DJ a little bit more, so.
Yeah. Well, you You did Raleigh. You also did Atlanta.
I did Raleigh. I did Raleigh, Atlanta, and Charlotte. Yeah. I'm trying to think, did we do anywhere else this year? And of course, Richmond.
Okay. Yeah. It's awesome, man. Yeah. I love the experience every time.
Thank you,
I like the way y'all do it with a surprise.
Yeah.
Like the first one I ever went to, I was sketchy. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to buy a ticket to something and I don't know who's going to be there, but blown away, and I catch as many as I possibly can. I always go to.
Well, this is what I would tell a person that that with that mentality.
Yeah.
I would rather you not come because at the end of the day, no, and it's respectfully, because the experience is more about the party than it is the artist. The artist is just something extra. If the artist comes out and performs for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So even if I bring 3 artists, you're talking about a 45-minute window out of 5 hours. I want you to enjoy yourself the whole night. And, I would hate for you to come there just for that one artist and,
But we do. And that's, like you said, the experience. I mean, we play cards. I smoke a cigar, plenty, vendors and stuff out there. So we do have it as an experience. But my first time coming, that's what I was saying. Like, without knowing.
Which one was your first one? You remember who came?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember who was at the first one.
Okay, yeah.
But I had a good time.
No, I'm glad, brother. You could, again, for me, that's important to me. If there's 1,000 people there, and of course you're never going to please everybody. That's one thing I know for a fact. But if there's 1,000 people there and 998 people tell me how incredible it was, when the 2 people that don't like it, I really want to, figure out what it was, that they didn't like. And if it's something that I can explain to, this is why it was this way, or, I'll keep that in mind, next time. Like, that's just as important. Like, I wouldn't blow them off because there's only 2 of them out of 900 people, because I always want to, do whatever I can to make it the best experience.
Yeah. So. I saw you recently too at the Illumination.
Yeah.
Right. So you even kill a Christmas party. Like, that's rare, man. So that was good. It wasn't the traditional Christmas vibe. It was a great experience too for that.
Yeah. So again, it goes back to, when I was telling you, just the whole brand thing and your performance. What's going to make you different? So a lot of the edits, I have a lot of different edits of songs that other DJs might not have. So when I play something and you hear it, another DJ can't do it. So if you like that mix or some of the transitions, there's not many places that you can go to hear it other than, a party that I'm DJing or something like the Art of Noise. So so I was definitely doing a lot of research trying to figure out how can I make this playlist special, but not too far either side. I don't want to make it too urban where the people that don't appreciate urban music wouldn't enjoy it, and vice versa. So.
Yeah. But just looking out at the crowd and everything, I know everybody enjoyed it. Yeah. Whatever their music type, preference is.
Yeah,
like
that's important. Like, as a DJ, you got to be able to look into the crowd and understand who's out there and try to appeal to that.
Yeah. What type of stuff do you do in and for the community? Hey, I hope you're enjoying the episode. I hate to interrupt, but I had to tell you about a community that I'm a part of. It's called the Morning Meetup. It's where hundreds of entrepreneurs gather every single morning. Look, we share ideas, we motivate each other, we share our successes. It's the perfect environment for you to not only grow as an individual, but as an entrepreneur. It's hosted by my mentor, David Shands. It's every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. It's no better way to start your day. Look, we've got a book club. Imagine hundreds of entrepreneurs reading the exact same book on the exact same chapter. You get to discuss that book and share your thoughts. It's very motivating. It empowers you, and you're ready to start your day. You get all of that for only $1. After that, it goes to $79 a month. I have no doubts that you're going to want to stay and be a part of this community. Look, I'm there every single morning, 8 a.m. The only thing we're missing is you. The link is in the description. Go ahead, click the link, try it out, join the community. Look forward to seeing you in the morning. The reason I was asking is not necessarily for a kudos or something like that, but because family is so important to you and community is an extension of the family. Yeah. I was just, I know that people that are in your circle that you associate with do a lot of stuff for the community. And so I just assumed that was a big, an important thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's so many things that could be done in the in the community, and everything that can be done in the community is also not always financial neither.
Oh yeah.
So one thing that I've always said is I feel like I've been blessed to be in this position for something more than music. So that's why if you follow me on social media, indirectly you see me promote family. You see me promote fatherhood. You see me promote, being a good husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is not one of them things. Like when I was growing up in hip hop, I used to always feel like, you're not supposed to talk about having a wife or a girlfriend because you want the women to be attracted enough to you to come out to your events.
Yeah.
But as I got older and I started to showcase my wife and, share, the different things that we did together, I realized that people like that more, if just as much, if not more than, the single.
Yeah, because it's genuine.
Yeah, it's genuine. You know what I'm saying? So to show that and to have other men come to me, other husbands, other fathers come to me and tell me how that inspires them to want to do things, I think that's just as important because you're planting seeds in the minds of, men, women, kids to potentially make the community a better place.
Yeah. How long you been married? I know it's over 20 years.
Yeah. Well, no, we've been married now for 16 years.
Okay.
We've been together for 24.
Okay.
Yeah. And if I'm wrong, I'm sure
you'll hear about it.
We'll hear about it.
But how has that played a part in your success?
Marriage?
Yeah, marriage. Having a relationship with a key person. And the reason I ask you that is because there's a statistic that shows that most executives and most millionaires have somebody that they've been married to. Mm-hmm. And I think a key part of that is commitment. Mm-hmm. But I'm just trying to see how that ties into your life and the success you've had.
Yeah. My wife was around when I was telling her that one day I want to be on the radio. You know what I'm saying? So that's important to me because my wife fell in love with Lonnie Battle. She didn't fall in love, or she wasn't attracted to the hype of Lonnie B because there was no hype of Lonnie B. When we met, I didn't even have a car. She was the one, driving me around. She was the one that had to put, the apartments in her name and stuff. So, she had no reason to say, I'm going to be with him because he's, X, Y, Z. And she's always had my back and she's always, held me down. One of the real defining moments, when you start talking about marriage and partnerships, it was when I got sick, when I was diagnosed with cancer. That was a different space for me because, being so used to being in front of all of the crowds and, there was no crowds, there was no lights. There was me in a dark room by myself thinking to myself, I don't know which direction this is going to go. Is it about to take me out? Am I going to be all right? And the only person I had there was her. Yeah. She was right there in the bed with me. We fell in love with playing those iPhone games, like the word Scrabble and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yo, it was the best thing in the world for me. Like, so much so between that and the conversations that we had in that time frame, I realized that if that was it and it was time for me to go, they could have rolled the credits and I would have been good. You know what I'm saying? And that spoke volumes to how secure, how connected I felt, to my wife and how important it is to have someone like that, because I don't know how I would have made it through that, mentally without her being there.
Yeah. Definitely good to have a support system, somebody there that can be there for you. 100%. I know she's always there at, every event you do. And then another reason I ask that is because, like you said, in the space that you're in, I know a lot of, rappers or DJs and, their significant other isn't around.
Yeah.
And I think it's maybe for that reason. They don't want to lose that allure or that, that kind of swag, but it's actually the opposite mentality like you were stating.
Yeah. For me, the main reason is, honestly, I just enjoy having my wife around. Like, that's the main reason. Like, it's not because I want you to come and watch and see what I'm doing. Like, I love to DJ and look over to the right in the VIP section and see my wife sitting there and see people, talking to her. There are certain people that know her or that have built relationships with my wife based off of seeing her on my social media and approaching her like, wow, I follow you. I feel like I know you, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, they're sitting there, having drinks, drinking wine. To me, I love, that, what I'm saying? Because as much as she is my wife, I love to see her in a space where she's her own individual, Yeah.
Yeah. Did you play any sports when you were younger?
I used to play basketball. I didn't play for the school, but I thought I was Jordan. Yeah. I was a playground legend in the Broad Rock, J.L. Francis area.
Okay.
Yeah. I think around that time, this was like between 89 and like 92. Mm-hmm. Like I was dunking. I was doing everything back then.
All right. Yeah. Basketball is my favorite sport too. But yeah, I love.
Did you play in school or anything?
I'm not balling today. Yeah, I played in high school for a short time, but I quit sports because I got a job at McDonald's. Mm. Yeah, and I felt money was more important to me than playing a sport that I knew I wasn't good enough to get no D1 scholarship or nothing like that. So I was like, I'm gonna let this go
and go get the money.
Yeah, get the money.
I ain't mad at you. Yeah, I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, but I know a lot of people learn a lot of good lessons from organized sports too.
Yeah,
and get some structure and things like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So something that I like to do on Success Leaves Clues podcast, the purpose is to get a whole bunch of clues.
Yeah.
And a couple things that I noticed from you is you always put family first. Mm-hmm. You pursue your passion, right? And then your brand. Your brand means everything. And I think that everybody has a brand, whether it is a business or whether it's DJing, music, anything. But even if you're just on a normal 9-to-5 job, you still have a brand. Your name still means something.
Most definitely.
And so I think that's a true key. I'm quite sure the guests will point out some other clues and get some things that can help them be successful.
Yeah. One of the things that I know that is powerful in this day and age is when you're building your brand is the power of social media. Okay. My wife hated when I post the kids on social media. She did not want me posting Aaliyah and Alexis, Lonnie on social media. But what she didn't understand was I started building their brands at a young age. So people watched Aaliyah and Alexis and my kids grow up on my social media. So when Aaliyah becomes a DJ, and you already have kids, you're like, that's Lonnie's little girl. That's Brooke, Lonnie's daughter, and other people, that see her from that, as well as your social media is like a reality TV show. Who are you? Like, instead of doing what it is that you feel like you need to do to be popping, be who you are. Because what you're going to do is you're going to attract the people that care about the things that you're into, and right then you're building an audience. You know what I'm saying? So, like you said, you're in the sports, or and you're talking sports, and you have a huge following of people that love to hear you talk about sports. And there's a big basketball tournament coming in town. Mm-hmm. Someone to come and like, I want you to come be a part of it, because they know if you come, everybody tune in to you talking about the sports. They acquire all that. But if you wasn't doing it, you wouldn't know that you had your own audience. So
reach those people.
There's so much, man, that a lot of people take for granted when it comes to social media.
Yeah,
so it's a very powerful tool. Yeah,
but you got to use it the right way.
You got to use it. Yeah. You got to use it the right way. And sometimes, for me, what I found is being transparent, being honest and transparent, is probably one of the most powerful things that you can do in a day and age where everybody feels like everything is supposed to be so perfect. Okay. Everything has to be the perfect selfie. Everything has to be this, has to be that. But as soon as you take the opportunity to take off your mask and show someone that you're not perfect, then you might get somebody else be like, you know what? I'm not perfect neither. And I went through the same thing that you went through. And next thing you know, you have a whole audience of people who are coming to you because you're showing who you really are. You know what I'm saying? So that's so important, man. Yeah.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No, it's a pleasure, bro.
Yeah. And as always, if you dream it, you can achieve it. Until next time on the Success Leaves Clues podcast.